everybody. I'm just seeing what this is saying. Hi everyone, my name is Johanna Burke. I'm going to lead you in a basics class. We are we are just going to be working on doing some side stretching. I know with everyone right now we might be a little more sedentary. So we're going to do side stretching, working on our intercostal muscles, the muscles in between the ribs. Just kind of stretch those out and lengthen our body. We're also going to work on opening up the front hip flexors a little bit, just in case we've been sitting a lot. So yeah, let's get started. We are going to start in a comfortable seat. You can either sit up onto a block or a blanket or a pillow, whatever you have. And you'll bring your palms to your thighs and close your eyes or gaze lightly towards the floor. You can place your palms face down if you need more calming, more grounding. You can place your palms face up if you're looking to invite more energy in. And just take a moment here to check in with your body, to check in with your breath, and to notice how you're feeling. Notice if your breath is shallow. See if you can start to deepen it by taking slow inhales and exhales, and allow your exhales to go longer than your inhales. Sit with a tall spine, but relax your upper back, relax your shoulders, relax your forearms, relax your hands. Soften your jaw. Release the tongue away from the roof of your mouth and soften your eyes. And even let your brain get heavy here. Allow what's going on in the outside world to just kind of melt away, and take this next 40 minutes just for you, to move your body, to connect with your breath, and to free your mind. Wherever you are in your breath, exhale completely. And then you're going to inhale deeply through your nose. Hold it at the top. Then exhale through your mouth. Inhale deeply through your nose and hold it at the top. Then exhale through your mouth. Inhale deeply through your nose and hold it at the top. Then exhale through your mouth. And start to slowly blink your eyes open. And you're going to roll over your shins and come into a tabletop position. So tabletop position, bring your wrist under your shoulders, hands slightly wider. Spread your fingers wide and even, knees under your hips, hip width apart. Then bring your big toes to touch. Bring your knees either as narrow as your hips or as wide as your yoga mat, and bring your hips back to your heels. You're going to walk your hands forward and bring your forehead and nose towards the mat. If the floor feels far, you can either bring a block, if you don't have a block, a book under your forehead. And then just let your arms relax out in front of you. And take a moment here to check in with your body. Notice where you feel tight. Notice where you might feel tension. And as you move today, see if you can start to bring some space and opening into those areas. And just take 3 deep breaths here. Soften your jaw, soften that space between your eyes, and relax your shoulders. Allow your hips to be heavy toward your heels. Then on your next inhale, you're going to start to crawl your fingertips forward, straightening your arms so that they're straight and strong. From your shoulders, press your hands down and forward to help you anchor your hips down and back. And you can stay here just like this. You're in a good stretch. You're stretching that side body. Or you're going to walk your hands over to the right. Crawl your left fingertips up 2 more inches. That's going to lengthen that left side body. And press your left hand down and forward while energetically, so movement without movement, pulling your right hand down and back. Allow your left sit bones to stay heavy towards your heel. You're going to lower your left shoulder just slightly, so not a lot, but slightly, using your spine and not your shoulders and hips to move it. And on your next exhale, walk your hands all the way over to the left. Crawl your right fingertips up 2 more inches, lengthening that right side body. Press your right hand down and forward. Energetically drag your left hand down and back. Lower your right shoulder just slightly. Keep your right glutes heavy towards your right heel. And tone your low belly. And check in with your breath here. And on your next exhale, walk your hands back to center. Press your hands down and forward, anchoring your hips down and back. And on your next inhale, come into a tabletop position again. Bring your wrist under your shoulders. Bring your hands slightly wider, so line up the middle of your wrist with your outer shoulder. Spread your fingers wide and even. Bring your knees under your hips, hip width apart. You can always bring a blanket or a cushion under your knees if you need to. On your next exhale, cat pose. Bring your chin towards your chest. Press down through your hands, feet, and shins evenly, pulling your belly button into your spine. Really round in your upper back, pressing your hands down and away. Then inhale, cow pose. Lift up through your chest. Pull your shoulder blades onto your back. Keep that low belly tone, but press your seat up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, cat pose. Bring your chin towards your chest. Press your tailbone down. Press down through your feet and shins evenly, gripping the floor with your fingertips. Then inhale, cow pose. Lift up through your chest. Pull your chest forward as you pull your shoulder blades onto your back. Lift your chin. Then exhale, cat pose one more time. Bring your chin towards your chest. Press your tailbone forward. Press into your feet. Grip the floor with your fingertips. Then inhale, cow pose. Keep that low belly tone. Keep pressing your hands down and away as you pull your chest forward and pull your shoulder blades onto your back. Then come into a neutral spine. You're going to tuck your toes under, including that pinky toe if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Bring your hips back to your heels. Walk your hands forward. Bring your forehead and your nose towards the floor, coming into puppy pose. Now make sure your hands are slightly wider than your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide and even. Then come up onto your fingertips, like Thing from Addams Family, and feel the engagement in your upper back. That's the engagement that you want to feel when you're in downward facing dog. So now keeping that engagement, lower your palms to the floor. And again, you can stay here. Puppy pose is a great alternative to down dog. Or inhale into a long tabletop position. Then exhale, downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet back and forth, move your hips from side to side, just bringing some movements into your body. But again, make sure your hands are slightly wider than your shoulders. Glue your index knuckle down and squeeze your ring finger and thumb towards each other. Then lift your forearms up, upper arms up, armpits up, hollowing out your armpits away from the floor. Then press your hips up and back. Press down through your big toe mounds, rooting through your heels. Then on your next exhale, bend your knees 2 inches, look in between your hands, and step, walk, or hop to the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. And bend your knees as much as you need to get all 10 fingertips to the floor. You can have your feet outer hip width apart, or feet together, toes and heels touching. And on your inhale, halfway lift. Lift up through your chest like cow pose, lift your chin. Then exhale, fold. Roll 50% of your weight towards the fronts of your feet, stacking your hips over your ankles. Relax your neck. Then inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. And inhale, halfway lift one more time. Make sure you're lifting up through your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, fold. Then keeping a micro bend to your knees, inhale, start to bring your torso upright. Stretch your arms up overhead, lengthen up out of your waist through your fingertips. And exhale, mountain pose. Kind of a ha feeling. Then either feet together or feet hip width apart. I know when I'm first starting in my practice, I like hip width apart for my body. And bring your hands to your hips. Now press your hands down into your hips, let your inner shoulders come up, and you're gonna plug your shoulders back, squeezing your elbows in towards each other. Press down into your right hand, stretch your left arm up vertical to the floor. And as you inhale, lengthen up out of your waist. And as you exhale, tip your torso to the right. And it doesn't have to be a far tip. It's more about getting the length into your side body than how far you bend. So first stretch up, then tip to the side. Now press into your feet, tone your thighs, lift your kneecaps, and engage your glutes, but don't clench your glutes. And then without moving your hips, move your right shoulder forward slightly, left shoulder back. From your left armpit, stretch up through your left fingertips, lift your chin, keep your low belly tone. Then inhale, come back up through center. Bring your left hand to your hip. Let your inner shoulders come up, plug your shoulders back. Then as you press your left hand down, inhale, stretch your right arm up. Now lengthen up out of your waist. And as you exhale, tip your torso to the left. Remember, it's more about the side length than it is about how far you can tip to the side. Now root into your feet as you stretch up through your fingertips. Move that left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, but don't move your hips. Lift your chin, keep your low belly tone. Remember to breathe. Then inhale, come back up through center, and exhale, mountain pose. And keeping your feet either hip width apart or feet together, inhale, bring your arms parallel to the floor. You're going to interlace your fingers, press your palms away from you. Now let your inner shoulders come up, plug your shoulders onto your back. Stay here or inhale, stretch your arms up and back, coming into summit pose. Now press down into your feet as you press up through your index knuckle and through your palms. Move your biceps up and back, either biceps in line with your ears or behind, but don't force it. Only go as far as your shoulders will allow you. Tone your thighs, lift your kneecaps. Engage your glutes, but press your tailbone forward. Now keep your low belly tone, lift your chest, and keep your chin parallel to the floor. Then exhale, release your interlace, mountain pose. And come to mountain at the front of your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, lead with your heart, fold forward. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. You're going to step your left foot back into a lunge. Now wiggle that back foot back a few more inches. Lower your back knee down to the mat. You can always bring a blanket or pillow under that knee. Then come up onto your fingertips or bring your hands to blocks. Lift your chest, lift your chin. You can stay here or on your inhale. Bring your torso upright, hands to your hips. Now squeeze your knees in towards each other. You'll feel that left hip come forward slightly. Press your tailbone down. Now keep your low belly tone, and you can keep your hands to your hips. Let your inner shoulders come up. Plug your shoulders back so you can stay here. You're in a really good place right here. Or bring your arms parallel to the floor. You're going to lengthen that side body, so side body long, bringing your shoulders up, plugging your shoulders back. Then inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Now keep squeezing your knees in. Engage your left glutes. Press your tailbone forward. And then lift your chest, lift your chin. Look straight ahead, or you can look up to where your wall and ceiling meet. Then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Inhale, lift your back knee up. Step your left foot forward. You're going to step your right foot back. Wiggle that back foot back a few more inches. Lower your back knee down. Now come up onto your fingertips or bring your hands to blocks. Keep your low belly tone. Lift your chest. Lift your chin. Stay here. Or bring your torso upright, hands to your hips. Now press your hands into your hips. Let your inner shoulders come up. Plug your shoulders back. And you can stay right here. You're good here. Or bring your arms parallel to the floor. Just a gentle float of your inner shoulders up. Plug your shoulders back. Then inhale, stretch your biceps up and back. Now squeeze your knees in. That right hip will come forward slightly. Engage your right glutes. Press your tailbone forward. Now keep your low belly tone as you lift your chest. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. Stretch up through your fingertips. Then exhale, hands to the mat. And you can step back into plank pose or modified plank with your knees to the floor. Look 4 to 6 inches in front of you. Then as you exhale, lower down. Setting up for locust 2. Bring your arms alongside your torso, palms face up. For this first one, keep your feet hip width apart, especially if you have a cranky or achy low back. Now press into your feet so much your knees lift. Press into your hands. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. First, lift your chest and your chin up. You can stay here, lift your feet up. Stay here, lift your hands up. Hands in line with your shoulders. Point through your toes, tone and turn your kneecaps down. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Engage your glutes, but don't clench your glutes as you press your tailbone down. Keep your low belly tone as you lift your chest, lift your chin, slide your throat back. Then exhale, lower down. Bring your wrist to a 90-degree angle under your elbow. Press down into your feet. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, either puppy pose or downward facing dog, whatever feels best for your body this morning. And then on your next exhale, you're going to bend your knees, bring your ankles and knees together. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Then bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. Inhale, bring your torso upright. Exhale, mountain pose. Then either feet together, toes and heels touching, or feet hip width apart. Then on your inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand, stretch up out of your waist. Exhale, tip your torso to the left. Now you can stay here or step your left foot out to the side. Stay onto your toes. You can stay here, bend your right knee. Now press your tailbone forward, tone your low belly, lift your chest. Stay here, bend your knee a little deeper. Then inhale, come up. Exhale, mountain pose. Then inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand. Stretch up out of your waist. Then as you exhale, tip your torso to the right. Stay here, step your right foot out to the side, stay onto your toes. Now you can stay here, bend your left knee, Lift up out of your waist. Either look straight ahead or under your shoulder. Stay here, bend a little deeper. Then inhale, come up. Exhale, mountain pose. Close your eyes. Take 2 deep breaths here. Notice any shifts in your body. Notice any shifts, whether they're mental. For me, sometimes it can even be emotional. And blink your eyes open. Come to mountain at the front of your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Lead with your heart, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back into a lunge. Now wiggle that back foot back a few more inches. Lower your back knee down. Then on your inhale, bring your torso upright. Either hands to hips or hands overhead. You can stay here. You can hook your thumbs. You're going to stretch your arms up and back. You can bend deeply into that front knee, but squeeze your knees in towards each other. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, lift your back knee up. Step your left foot forward. And step your right foot back. Wiggle that back foot back a few more inches. Lower your back knee down. Then inhale, bring your torso upright. Arms overhead. You can keep hands to hips, arms overhead, or hook your thumbs. Stretch your biceps up and back. You can bend deeply into that front knee. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Then exhale, hands to the mat. And step back into plank pose. You can bring your knees to the floor or heels over your toe mounds, shoulders over your wrist. Look 4 to 6 inches in front of you to keep your head in line with your shoulders. Then on your exhale, slowly lower down. For locust 2 again, bring your arms alongside your torso, palms up. Either feet hip width apart, or this time you can bring your feet together. Squeeze your shoulder blades in, press into your feet. Then inhale, first lift your chest and chin up off the floor. You can stay here, you're in a good spot. Or lift your feet up. Stay here, lift your hands up. Now feel your breath in the pose. You're going to take short sips of air. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. Press your tailbone down. Engage your glutes. Feel the pose in your body. Then exhale, lower down. And bring your forehead or your right ear to the floor. And close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. And on your inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Inhale into table pose. Exhale either into puppy pose or down dog. Then on your next exhale, bend your knees 2 inches, look in between your hands, and step, hop, or walk to the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Then inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, start to bring your torso upright. Stretch your arms up overhead. And exhale, mountain pose. Okay, I feel warm. Maybe y'all do too. Okay, we're going to take a wide stance. So bring your hands to heart center. Bend your knees. Lift your chest. Step or hop it open. Wide stance. So wide stance, you want your ankles under your wrist. Heels are the widest point, big toes point straight ahead. And if you're like, nope, that wide stance is too wide for me, go to where you know it's good for your body. Now turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Make sure your front heel's in line with the middle of your back arch or your back heel. Bring your hands to your hips. You're going to turn your left toes in about 45 degrees. Now from your left hip, root into your left heel, tone your thigh, lift your kneecap. Squeeze your inner thighs in, and you're going to feel that left hip come forward. They don't have to be square to your mat, but just move that left hip forward slightly. Now you can stay here, bend your right knee over your right ankle. So the key to Warrior One is that back leg. Shift your weight to that back heel. It's going to make your front thigh feel lighter. Now square your shoulders to your capacity. You can stay here or bring your palms and forearms together. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Stay here or bring your right arm under your left and either grab opposite shoulders or bring your palms together. Now keep shifting your weight to that back foot. Tone your thigh, lift your kneecap. Squeeze your inner thighs in. Press your tailbone down. Tone your low belly. Lift your chest. Lift your chin. Sit a little deeper. Then inhale, stretch your arms up. Straighten your front knee. Turn your right toes in. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your left toes out 90 degrees. Now turn your right toes in about 45 degrees. You might get a little off balance like I just did. From your right hip, root into that right foot. Tone your thigh, lift your kneecap. Squeeze your inner thighs in to bring that right hip forward. Then press into your right foot, and as you exhale, bend your left knee over your left ankle. Now keep squeezing your inner thighs in. Square your shoulders to your capacity. Then you can stay here or bring your palms and forearms together, elbows in line with your shoulders, or bring your left arm under your right, either grabbing opposite shoulders or palms together. So whatever variation feels best for you. Now from your right hip, keep slamming into that right foot. Tone your thigh, lift your kneecap. Squeeze your inner thighs in. Press your tailbone forward. Lift your chest. Press your top arm into your bottom arm. Sit a little deeper. Then inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, open it into a wide stance. Then step or hop your feet together. Hands at heart center. Then bring your hands to your hips. Start with your feet hip width apart. And sit your hips down and back. You can stay here. You're really good right here. Or bring your right leg up and over your left, going for a single or double wrap. You can even bring your right toes to the floor or to a block. Then bring your palms and forearms together. Stay here or bring your left arm under your right and either palms together or grab opposite shoulders. Now press your tailbone down. Squeeze your inner thighs, outer knees together. Keep your low belly tone as you lift your chest. Press your top arm into your bottom arm. Lift your chin. Stay here, sit deeper. Then inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. And bring your hands to your hips. Sit your hips down and back like you're going into chair pose. You can stay here or bring your left leg up and over your right, going for the single or double wrap, or bring your toes to the floor. Now bring your palms and forearms together. You can stay here or bring your right arm under your left and take whatever variation feels best for you. Squeeze your inner thighs, outer knees together. That's going to work your outer hips. Press your tailbone down. Keep your low belly tone. Lift your chest. Press your top arm into your bottom arm. Lift your chin. Breathe. Then inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Then bring your hands together at heart center. Bend your knees. Lift your chest, step or half it open, wide stance. So again, ankles under your wrist, heels are the widest point, big toes point straight ahead. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Stretch your arms up parallel to the floor. Now bend your right knee over your right ankle. Make sure your front knee is in line with your third toe or outer edge of your foot and that it's not sinking in. Press your tailbone down. Lift your chest. Now inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, tip your torso to the right. Stay here, bring your right forearm to your thigh. Little to no weight on that forearm, so press into your feet. Slam through that back foot, press your left thigh back. Lift your chest towards the ceiling. From your left armpit, stretch up through your left fingertips. Then inhale, come back into warrior two. Straighten your front knee, bring your hands to your hips, turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out. Then inhale, stretch your arms parallel to the floor, bend your left knee over your left ankle. Then inhale, stretch your arms up, tip your torso to the left. Stay here or bring that left forearm to your thigh. Little to no weight on that forearm. Now scoop your left glutes down and toward your left heel. From your right ankle, stretch up through your right fingertips. Lift your chest and breathe. Inhale into warrior two. Straighten your front knee. Turn your left toes in. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your right toes out. Last standing pose and we get to hit the floor. Yay! So you can have a block or you can use a book or you can use your shin. Stretch your arms up parallel to the floor. Move your right hip back. Reach your right hand forward. Bring your right hand either to your shin, to a block, or to the floor under your shoulder. Start to tone and twist your abdomen open. Stay here, float that left arm vertical. Now squeeze your heels in. You'll feel your inner thighs fire up. Press your tailbone forward. Tone and twist from your bottom right ribs open. You can stay here, turn your left palm forward. Stretch your left arm across your face. Then inhale, bring your torso upright. Switch blocks or switch hands with your block. Turn your right toes in. Turn your left toes out. Inhale, stretch up out of your waist. Exhale, move your left hip back. Stretch your left hand forward. Bring your left hand to a block, to your shin, or to the floor under your shoulder. Let your right arm float vertical. Now you can stay here. Turn your right palm forward and stretch your right arm across your face. Squeeze your heels in. Press your tailbone forward. You're going to tone and twist open like we did in crescent. From your right armpit, stretch up through your right fingertips. Inhale, come back up through center. Turn your left toes in. Step or hop your feet together, hands at heart center. Then come to mountain at the front of your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Lead with your heart, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back into plank pose for just a second. Then on your exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the floor. And roll over to lay down onto your back. Setting up for bridge pose. Bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor, feet hip width apart. You want to make sure your ankle is directly under your knee. Some teachers will say you can reach back and brush your heels with your fingertips, but sometimes body composition does not allow for that. So I just kind of look around my hips Make sure it's even. Bend your elbows like little robot arms. Now press into your arms, press into your feet, flare your toes. Now as you press into your feet and your arms, use the strength of your thighs to lift your hips. Walk your shoulders underneath you one by one. Then straighten your arms, grab the outer edges of your mat. Now keep pressing into your feet, flaring your toes. Press your knees away from you. Press your tailbone up, squeeze your inner thighs in. Press into your arms, that'll help you lift your chest, then lift your chin. And breathe. We're gonna hold this for 4 minutes, just kidding. Then exhale, slowly lower down. You're gonna bring your feet hip width apart. Stretch your arms up overhead. Now grab onto your left wrist with your right hand. On your exhale, lower your knees to the right. Now flex your feet, flare your toes. Squeeze your heels towards your glutes. Press your left knee down and away from you. From inside your stomach, imagine you're turning your torso from the right to the left. And either look up or look over your left shoulder. Then inhale, come back up through center. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand. And as you exhale, lower your knees to the left. Flex your feet, flare your toes. Squeeze your heels to your glutes. Press your right knee away from you. From inside your stomach, imagine you're turning your torso from the left to the right. And either look up or look over your right shoulder. Stretch up through your right fingertips. Then inhale, come back up through center. Bend your knees in towards your chest. Grab onto your shins. Give yourself a big full squeeze in. Then on your next inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Stretch your legs out straight. Give yourself a big full body stretch. And then when you're ready, open up into your Shavasana. Your Shavasana can look like whatever you want it to. You can have your feet to the floor, knees knocking in. You can lay onto your stomach if that feels more grounding. You can place your palms to your torso or arms out to the side. But do whatever feels nourishing for your body. You can lay here as long as you'd like. I'll signal to you when it's over. So if you want to leave at a certain time, you can. But relax your toes. Relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax your fingers. Relax your hands. Relax your wrists. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Soften the tongue away from the roof of your mouth. And relax your eyes. Know that whatever you're feeling right now is okay. But let your body soften and receive your practice. Start to slowly and gently deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, bringing gentle movements back to your body. Gently rock your head side to side. And one at a time, bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor and roll on to whatever side of your body feels most natural for you. And keeping your eyes and your hips heavy, roll forward slightly and press yourself up to a comfortable seat facing forward. And you can bring your palms to your thighs or your hands to heart center and close your eyes or gaze lightly towards the floor. And just take a moment here to honor your body and all the ways it supports you. Take a moment to see and recognize your effort. Remember that your effort never goes wasted and no gain is ever lost. Honoring yourself, honoring each other, honoring this practice and all those that paved the way before us. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you know kindness. May you know joy. May you know love. Thank you for sharing your beautiful practice with me today. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.